Usually, you get the Mickey Mutineers podcast, where we talk everything Disney. But sometimes... you get the Mutineer Disaster Hour, where we talk everything else. It's like Duck Duck Goose with shitty podcasts. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick. Okay, so about that real quick. Jake, I said that to a group of my peers, my colleagues at work, and no one knew what I was talking about. And I realized that when that joke doesn't land, it is awful.
Wait, now, hold on. Did it not land because you were above the median age of this group, or did it not land because they just don't know The Simpsons?
I think it's both, but also someone said, "Hey, everybody," like that, okay? Or I think he said, "Hi, everybody." Mm-hmm. And I said, "Hi, Dr. Nick." And he was like, "Excuse me?" I was like, no. I mean, it's a joke. I mean, it's The Simpsons. So that's the worst part, is trying to have to explain it.
It's funny you say that, because I specifically have a problem at work where I am out of I guess I'm the third oldest in the office, but the two older people in the office, one has their own office and the other one just kind of keeps to themselves. So like effectively, out of everybody who converses on a regular basis, I'm the oldest. And let me tell you, I dropped Simpsons references left and right. Like that Simpsons references that you and I and everybody here will have no problem picking up on and giggling at or chuckling at, or dare I say, even finishing the next line of. When I do it at work, fucking crickets. And then I get stares of, what are you talking about?
Yeah. And you know what's awful about it is, like, you have the defense of this is the most popular cartoon of all time.
Well, yeah. Hold on, we got a comment. Ryan's in the comments saying, "Who's this guy?"
Damn it.
Wait, hold on. Sorry. Yeah, over there. That guy knows what he's talking about.
Well, Jordan, see, the problem is you just have to show your riz to the lower employees.
That's true.
You got to give them the old skibbity.
Skibbity is the one thing I can't stand. Like, I get Riz. I understand the mewing thing or whatever this is. But, like, Skibbity Toilet is got to be the stupidest. What? Just making sure. I know it's the disaster hour. You can curse here, right?
No.
Okay. Well, you know what I'm going to say then. So
you can curse. I was going to say it anyway. I cursed in the intro.
So did I.
Yeah, you did. I didn't even think about that. So Skibbity is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. Like, I don't understand it. And Jake, I guess this is kind of passed over to you because you have kids who are kind of in the range who can, like, understand it a bit. I don't.
What the hell is Skibbity Toilet?
I don't know.
Hold on. I didn't know about this until I hired two new people at work who are, mid-20s. And then they said something about Skibbity Toilet. I'm like, what the hell is a Skibbity Toilet?
If you have to ask, then it's Chugi.
I hate this. I hate everything about this.
It is not Sigma. Jordan, that was the hardest blink I've ever seen anyone do. So my favorite part about this is Ryan's right. I do have kids, and they are in this phase right now. And there's nothing more gratifying than using this slang against them and embarrassing the hell out of them.
I do feel like that's you, like having the ultimate power where they're just weak, like good on their knees, and like, Dad, no. It's like, yes, Skibbity.
Your friend's getting in the car. Watch me reference Skibbity.
So do you have any idea what it means? Doesn't it just mean like the ultimate cringe?
What, Skibbity?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a cartoon. Well, that's giving it way too much credit.
Wait, so it's a literal thing. It's not just like a phrase.
Yeah, no, it's a literal thing. It's a head that comes out of the toilet and he smiles real big. And I don't know what goes on beyond that.
Cool.
But we need to change the subject. We're losing Jordan so fast.
Sorry, I had a text come in that I had to I had to answer real quick. I'm sorry. What are we talking about?
No one knows. You
We
missed
include you in
nothing.
it anytime. It's not going to make any more sense than if you were here in the beginning.
All right, cool. Well, I missed absolutely nothing then.
Yeah. I mean, I know Ohio is boring, right?
Okay, I feel like they stole that from us.
Yeah, that's the most literal one.
Yeah, like I've been giving Ohio shit for years.
I love the idea of you walking into a middle school and just being like, I said that. I did Ohio shit for years before you.
You assholes think you're original. You act as if I wasn't in middle school one time. Let me guess. I bet you make that weird S thing too. Fuck you.
Oh my gosh. Not the weird
One
S.
kid goes back to school and he's like, I do the S thing. I thought I came up with that.
Hold on. First of all, I have bad news for the kid that thinks he came up with the S thing. For any kid who thinks he came up with the S thing.
I have a belief that every kid thinks they came up with the S thing. But specifically at my school, I went to Sprayberry. So I thought the S was for Sprayberry. So when I heard other kids doing it, I was like, you go to Harrison. That starts with an H. Why would you do
when
that?
I was in Louisiana?
It doesn't even start with an S.
Also,
to be fair, there's an S in Louisiana.
But not where you think.
Nope. Right at the end, it's silent.
Louisiana.
It's kind of like Arkansas.
Louisiana.
So you know how the last episode we were just putting IPs where they don't belong.
It in my head. It's so dumb. Louisiana.
Did you say that was dumber than you thought in your head? What did you have?
I said it gets dumber every time I say it. I was gonna follow that up with why isn't Kansas and Arkansas and not Kansas and Arkansas? but the goddamn Louisiana I think was way better.
I kind of like Kansas. It goes like Utah, Colorado, Kansas, Arkansas. No way, that's south. Iowa?
No, Iowa's.
What the hell's on the other side of Kansas? Misery.
Oh, the state. Yeah.
Yeah, it goes Colorado, Kansas, misery, denial, and
Kathy
then
Bates.
Acceptance. That's
that's on the coast. Fantastic beach.
Anger's somewhere in the middle there.
It's next to Kansas.
It's the state formerly known as Ohio.
I hate Ohio. I hated it first.
See? Yeah.
I like Drew Carey show, all right.
Yeah,
What?
that's all right.
Hold
Do you
on.
know the Drew Carey show, Jake?
I'm familiar with it. That's the one with Drew Carey, right?
Yeah.
How'd you know that?
I'm really good at deductive reasoning.
You nailed it. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing with that is it takes place in Cleveland, but the whole theme song is Cleveland Rocks and then Ohio.
That was the
He shouts
third.
Ohio.
That was the third theme song for that show.
Oh, was it really? I always just associate it as like the theme song.
Right, me too, because that was the most popular one. The first one, I think, I don't know which one came first, but there was one that was, I think it was. Do you know the scene in Figment, Journey into Imagination, when Nigel his face is the moon?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like that, but with Drew Carey, and he's singing some kind of song. And then,
Oh, it was like animated Drew Carey.
I don't think it was animated. I think it was like prosthetics. It could have been animated. I could be wrong. But then there was another theme song where it was that 60s band, the Vogues. Oh God, what was there? Up in the morning. I can't. God damn it! I can't remember the name of the song.
So
It's a 5 o'clock world when the whistle blows. Da piece of my time. You know that song?
I do, and I think it's because of this. But also, fun update. I looked up Drew Carey Moon, which in hindsight I shouldn't have done. And the image that we're talking about, it is a man in a prosthetic to be the moon. It's not Drew Carey.
Oh no, it isn't.
It's Jim O'Hare.
Okay.
Which everyone would probably know him as. Oh my God, what's his name in Parks and Recreation? The one that no one likes.
The one who they can't remember his name.
Yeah, this bit.
Yeah, Gary.
That's it.
So it's wasn't he singing like "Moon Over Miami" or something like that?
I mean, I can show you the image.
That doesn't answer Jordan's question.
I have this image. That's all I have for you.
Oh well.
This is riveting podcasting. I've never actually. I don't think I've ever seen the opening of the Drew Carey show.
Well, I think you get DMCA'd, but otherwise, I'd say play it.
Let's do this. You know what? Let's go for it.
You know what? Let's be the podcast that either we play this and it's funny, or we play this and we get DMCA'd by the fucking Drew Carey show.
And you know what? They deserve every penny.
They do.
Oh, wait, which
Cleveland Rocks was also an Ian Hunter song.
Moon season? Over Parma.
That's Moon Over Parma. I knew it was Moon Over something.
Yeah, after this, together. That's a Harbor Freight ad. Oh, here we go. Okay, so I think this video doesn't have the moon, but
that's fine.
I mean, this is a podcast, so imagine a moon. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go.
Pull your pants up.
Don't tell me what to do.
That's no moon.
Here we go.
Moon over Parma, bring my
okay.
Guide her to Cleveland underneath your silvery light.
I mentioned Cleveland.
We're going bowling, so don't lose her in Solon. Moon over Parma tonight.
And that was it.
Okay, yeah, that's what I do remember. Maybe I'm just getting it mixed up with the moon thing because it's just a face.
Or the moon also sings Moon Over Parma at the end.
Oh, maybe.
The way it's shot is it looks like it's like over the credits.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna have to watch an entire Drew Carey show episode just to get to the bottom of this.
I can't wait for you to see who Mimi is.
I know who Mimi is.
You didn't know who the Drew Carey show was?
Yeah. I just don't know the intro.
Oh, you know the show though. Okay, that makes more sense. I thought you meant like in an existential thing. You know Mimi.
Yeah, like the Drew Carey show is like something that came on my local station after The Simpsons at 10:30 at night, or like that doesn't sound right because Drew Carey show was on ABC.
I also want to make sure that we can like talk about what we're supposed to talk about. But one more thing,
Disaster Hour. What are we supposed to talk about?
Well, there's Jordan mentioned a topic. I don't want to take too much time. I was watching The Price is Right, and at one point, this was recent, like in the past year, this episode aired. A guy comes up. He can't be more or less than 50 years old, like 50, 60, somewhere in that range. Gray hair, backwards hat like I'm wearing right now, and he's wearing like a Hawaiian shirt. He comes up and he plays the shell game. And the shell game is just pick which of these 5 shells has a pearl underneath it. Okay. So Drew Carey asks the guy, which number do you want to pick? Which number shell do you want to pick? And this grown 50-year-old man on television says, number 2, my lord. Crickets. No one says anything. And 5 seconds later, this exact pause, he does this. From Shrek 2. And Drew's like, oh, okay. And like just keeps moving. And I was like, what just
I'd have to shut it off. I can't handle secondhand embarrassment at all.
Well, he was like from the movie Shrek. He's like, okay, thank you. Yeah, let's just keep going. not only was he accurate about that quote, that is a quote from Shrek. I say that quote from Shrek, and I think that I am the weirdest person on the planet. So how on earth is this man, 50 years old, remembering that joke enough and then say it on TV and it airs? They could have cut it because no one responded. They kept it in there.
No, hold on. If you were the editor of that episode, would you
If I
have
was,
cut
for
it?
sure.
Yeah, no,
I
you
would've
leave
kept
that in.
Oh, I would have kept it for sure.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
Then that begs the question. It's me, that guy, and then the editor. The three of us know and love that joke or that reference.
Did you get the guy's name? I mean, it says his name on the episode.
It does, and I didn't because, I mean, it was literally like Dave. But I guess I could have gone back and went to like George saying his full name, but what am I going to do? Send him find him on email and be like, hey, nice. That's it.
Facebook.
Facebook, nice reference, bro.
Dude,
That
I got
episode
it.
aired 4 years ago.
So can we back up for a second? What kicked this whole thing off was the fact that the Drew Carey show happens in Cleveland.
Well, the song that plays the most, Jordan, call me on this, the most recognizable Drew Carey theme song would be Cleveland Rocks.
It was written by Ian Hunter. Can anybody tell me what band he was in?
Ian Hunter. Oh, he was in Anthrax.
Nope.
You're thinking of Ian something.
Scott
Ian Smith?
Scott Ian. Scott Ian Hunter.
Yeah, it's Brooks and Dunn.
Yeah, how'd you know?
It's weird that they just had a third guy.
It was the moon.
Nah, Mata Hoople.
Wait,
Oh,
what?
Mata Hoople.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a band?
Yeah.
You ever heard of
They were like a 70s glam band. David Bowie wrote All the Young Dudes for him before he recorded it.
It's probably one of those songs that like I've heard. Have I heard it?
Yeah.
Have I heard any? Yeah. Because I'm terrible with titles and band names, like going back a certain amount of years. Like, for example, and I'm pretty sure, like, we were doing this podcast when Tom Petty died. And I'm pretty sure I mentioned it back then on this podcast, but there were so many songs that I had no idea were Tom Petty songs.
Oh.
Like,
I was on my honeymoon when Tom Petty died.
Oh. These are not related.
I was a day removed from playing at a gazebo, and we had to learn 3 Tom Petty songs so we could play them.
Was
And
one
you'll
of,
never guess which 3 songs.
okay, it's Running Down a Dream.
No.
Really?
American Girl.
Yes.
Refugee.
Last Dance with Mary Jane.
No. Yes.
I am really
Who's
bad
in my
at this.
band? Yes.
Wait, was that the name of a song?
No.
Oh,
The last name's Mary Jane is, and that's a yes.
okay.
Refugee,
Wait,
no.
Okay.
Was it
there's one more
Don't
song.
Come Around Here No More?
Oh, it's Life is a Highway.
What?
Isn't Don't Do Me Like That Tom Petty? And
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Tom Petty.
okay, that's
Don't
it.
Do Me Like That. Yeah. That's a good song.
it's a great
Did you
song.
not
I
do
love
Life
that
is a
song.
Highway?
God, stop.
No.
Shut up.
And if I did, it would be the Rascal Flatts version. I'm so sorry.
Hold on. Wait, why am I? Is that not a Tom Petty song?
No.
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I'm pretty positive. Life is a highway. No, it doesn't work.
Huh.
Hey, Jake,
That
at
was
least you're not a
awesome.
musician or anything.
So remember how I started this off with, I don't know what songs were Tom Petty songs?
Yes.
Apparently, I was just adding to the jar needlessly.
You're crushing it.
Anyway, what I wanted to get to was in the Drew Carey show, does anything in the show have to do with Cleveland?
That was 10
Yeah, they're
minutes
in
ago.
Cleveland. I mean, it's set in Cleveland. Is there anything else you need?
I'm going somewhere with this. No,
Uh-huh.
because I always come across this list. Let me just read the name of the list. I pulled it up. The best movies set in each state. And as I've always read through this list, I'm like, I didn't know that was in that state.
You know what sucks is like being in Georgia, we're probably just getting shit on in that list.
Let me see.
There's two options. One's better than the other. I wonder. Yeah. Okay. Got it.
It's a good movie, but just
Should I tune my banjo?
No.
Oh, it's not Deliverance.
No, it's not Deliverance.
Jordan,
Jordan, you want to take a guess? What?
Driving Miss Daisy?
No.
Gone with the Wind?
No. Shockingly. But this is one of those things where I'm like, did this take place in Georgia? It's the color purple.
Yeah, that did take place in Georgia.
Yeah, I guess it did.
Oh. So like, I'm just gonna for funsies go to Utah. Let's make guesses on Utah. Oh, if it's not The Wizard, we're rioting.
Well, what the hell else was filmed in Utah, or it takes place in Utah?
I mean, okay, a lot of old westerns. Oh, what a cop out of 127 hours. Boom.
Oh yeah, it kind of has to be Utah though. What about Louisiana's?
Let me find Louisiana's. Show
Jordan,
me
you have any guesses?
Louisiana's. All right. Ooh.
Hold on, he's thinking. If it's Girls Trip, we riot. But go ahead.
Jordan, do you want to take a guess?
Uh,
I would never guess this one.
Movies that Skeleton Key?
No.
That one wasn't Louisiana though.
Yeah, that wasn't actually takes place in the parish that I was born in.
So you're the
Louisiana's
Skeleton Key.
is A Streetcar Named Desire.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I could see that.
I need to find one because now I feel like this is actually a really good list. Because most of these I'm like, okay, so you know the movie Election?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That takes place in Nebraska.
I feel like I knew that.
Damn it.
I didn't.
All right, we're done with this list.
Thank you, list.
You've done a fantastic job. I think. Oh, Ohio is Heather's. just want to point that out.
That is Ohio. See, that's the thing about that list is that like those are good movies, and I'm sure it is the best ones that are taking place in that city, in that state. But Ohio just doesn't scream Heather's to me, and vice versa.
Yeah, same with Oklahoma. I would never guess this for Oklahoma. Ready? The Outsiders.
You know what? I recently just did learn that it was, or relearn that it was Oklahoma, because I was watching Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and one option was New York, and I was like, it's a bunch of teen greasers. Of course, it's New York. And it's
That's what I would
Oklahoma
have guessed. Or Jersey.
or Jersey, sure. Jersey, sure.
You stop that. You stop that right now.
No. Hey, Jordan, did you do anything fun last weekend?
Ever?
I went to work.
You posted a video this weekend of that upgrade kit.
I did. I filmed that yesterday, and I have all these blisters on my hand to show
Wait.
for.
That's from upgrading your transformer?
Yeah, because I was.
Those kits are
Jordan
serious,
Electrician.
though.
Yeah, well, I had like a complication with one of them. So like when I took the new pieces, and you have to sandwich them back together, and then you have to put the screws in. The two like sockets that meet that the screw has to pass through were just like slightly off. So it wouldn't. I would have to like position, like I would have to like squeeze the two halves together and then like kind of push them to where the two sockets would line up correctly. And then I would just have to really get in there with the screwdriver. And I didn't realize how like much it was like rubbing on my skin. And then whenever I stopped, I looked at my hand and I had 3 blisters, 1 right here and 2 right here.
Battle damage.
So yeah. So I got 3 blisters on my hand for playing with my toys.
The world isn't fair.
Bullshit is what it is.
I mean, I don't blame you for having blisters though, because like looking at the video, the packaging, and granted I've never seen a Transformers upgrade package, but that was some like legit stuff. It wasn't just like I've seen you do some upgrades before where it's like fix the arm that's kind of like loose or something that comes loose, but that was like a straight up like adding inches to the height of that figure, right?
Yeah, this was like full on action
Yeah,
figure
chill,
surgery. Like
chill.
I had to, take apart old pieces and put together new pieces for it.
Yeah.
So
So what's funny about that, I haven't watched the video yet, but I saw the TikTok on it of the legs when you had the one finished leg and the other not finished leg. And my idiot brain jumped to conclusions because before you even started talking, I was just like, well, that's not right. And then I listened to what you were saying. I was like, oh, right. He's not done. But yeah, it was inches added to a massive figure. It was really cool.
yeah.
But still not as tall as that big boy behind you.
Yeah. That it puts them eye to eye.
Does it?
Oh, does it? I thought it was still kind of like off a little bit.
They were pretty, we're talking within millimeters, but it was a significant improvement as far as like being face to face. The other one though, like the one that I upgraded, I'm not sure how I feel about it. Like it looks good and it looks proportioned, but because I added like an inch to the height, now it's top heavy and kind of sways. So
you need to lower an inch from the top.
yeah.
A top endectomy. I'm not good at this, guys.
No. No, you're not. Hi, Dr. Nick.
Someone talk about Louisiana's again.
Well, so a question for you, Jake, because I know that you are going to Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando in October, correct?
Correct.
Great.
Coming
So
with me?
I'm going in the first week of October. I can't go that close to October, or I can't go that close to Halloween. You are a brave soul for attempting it. So,
Wait, what do you know that I don't know?
Well, the closer
That's going to be
you
the
get-
busiest weekend.
Boom.
Oh, yeah.
Busiest weekend, and also the cooler that it gets, the more packed that it gets. So I like going when it's like just a little too hot, but not too hot. I mean, I don't like that, but I like it for crowds.
I got Express Pass.
Yeah, I mean, so you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Text me if you need any kind of assistance while you're going through there. But I mean, with Express, you're fine. So I've done some reading on what's happening in the Hollywood, the Halloween Horror Nights. And my question for you is, having gone to the Hollywood ones previously, what are the things that you're looking forward to the most, or regretting that you can't experience this year in Hollywood when you go to Orlando?
So, funny story. I can actually answer this very well. I didn't realize this, but apparently the Hollywood one is the lesser one. Because last year, was it last year that they did the Stranger Things like season 4? Or was that the year
Hollywood
before?
or
Both of them? I think they both had it because I'm going somewhere with this.
2 years ago
Was it 2 years ago?
Season 4.
Okay. So the one in
Wait,
Hollywood.
no, it was last year. You're right.
It was last year? Okay. So the one in Hollywood, I was pretty disappointed with. It was like all of us, we went through it, we're like, oh, that was it. And I didn't think much of it. We went along, it was fine. A few days ago, I watched the Orlando version of the Stranger Things season 4 house. It blew my mind how good it was.
Yeah.
So I don't really have any regrets because the lineup this year in Hollywood, I was like, They have the Terror Tram, which if you go on the Terror Tram once, it's awesome. Because the best part of the Terror Tram is you actually walk through the facade of the Bates Motel, like the actual, and then through the crashed plane set from War of the Worlds. But they have monsters and they're trying to scare you. And the first time it was really awesome, but it feels like every year since then, it's always the exact same thing. They just changed the masks so the people trying to scare you. And I got to the point where I'm just like, I just want to look at the movie sets. You guys are you're all up in here. I just want to be, I want to be looking out here. And so the Terror Tram's cool once. Like any new person going to Hollywood, I highly recommend the Terror Tram, but freaking change it up. So I'm not missing that at all. I'm really excited that Orlando only has 3 IP houses.
Technically 4 if you want to count Universal Monsters, but yeah.
Oh, I was counting Oh no, I'm not. No, it's Insidious, Ghostbusters, and Quiet Place. Yeah.
Yep.
But like usually the Universal Monsters one is like an original story.
Yeah, I think this one is that Van Helsing and the Bride are teaming up to kill Dracula, who's a woman.
Yeah.
Something like that. Or Dracula's daughter is something.
I feel like it's all an ad for Epic Universe, and I'm totally fine with that.
They do it every year. Not this specific one, but they do a Universal Monsters one every year.
Yeah, so does Hollywood. I think it's usually the same one.
You're only missing the Texas Chainsaw House is coming to Hollywood. And we had that 2 years ago.
We had oh wait, no, that was Halloween 4. Never mind. I've never had Texas Chainsaw. But Orlando's food offerings streets ahead of Hollywood's. I don't know why Hollywood's is so bad.
I mean, so it kind of stands to reason. I should have thought about this sooner, but I guess it took me going to actually experience it with how little space they have because they're in the hills of Hollywood and California. Right. They don't have a ton of room, so they can't do as much. Whereas Orlando, they're just like, we have nothing but fucking room. So
okay, but to an extent, because Hollywood's is like, we don't have much room except for this entire movie studio.
Yeah.
Like they
can't just say they're not filming in October and move stuff, right?
But they did. This year, what house is it? I was watching Justin Scard's video on Hollywood, and one of them is in the famous Soundstage 12, which is like goes all the way back to Dracula and Frankenstein. It was the Visitor Center in Jurassic Park. And so they did actually do that. It was like, well, this one's going to be a haunt this year. But I mean, you can't do that.
That's kind of cool, though. Like this haunt was the set for Dracula.
Yeah, and I think it was
like a Dracula themed haunt at that point.
It might have been The Weekend.
Boo!
I don't remember. I watched it like 3 hours ago, and I can't remember. This is how bad my memory is.
Just imagine my excitement of how much I love Halloween Horror Nights, and I'm like, man, are we gonna get a Gremlin house? Are we gonna get Beetlejuice? Are we gonna get like a Nightmare on Elm Street? What are we gonna get? And they're like, hey, it's The Weekend, and he has a house. I'm like, okay.
Does he have a house this year?
Yeah,
in Hollywood he does.
Okay,
yeah.
Because I was about to say, like, didn't he have one in Orlando like 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was 2
and
years ago.
Hollywood, I think.
And Hollywood, yeah. And I really liked it, but I don't understand it, but it scared the crap out of me.
That would have been the year I got hurricaned out.
So my biggest issue with the Weekend House in Hollywood...
Hurricane said, you're welcome.
was the queue line was super long. Like, I mean, distance-wise, it was one switchback.
Yeah.
No.
That's true. And they're doing one this year too.
And so at one end of the queue, they had Blinding Lights playing, which I love Blinding Lights. And then the other end of the queue, they had another one of his songs playing, and I can't remember which one it was.
It was probably the Save Your Tears.
Yes, it was. It was Save Your Tears. And so, good song also. But the problem was most of the middle section of the queue, you were getting both of them. And I was going insane. It's like, this is awful.
Oh my God. I couldn't do it. Jordan, also, a quick joke for you, Jordan. I saw that The Weeknd announced that he has another album coming out. And someone said, in similar news, WrestleMania, the next 5 WrestleManias have announced their songs.
Oh, guys.
I will take The Weeknd any day over fucking Jelly Roll.
I don't know.
They really do switch it up.
Jelly Roll sounds delicious.
No.
Not this guy.
Oh.
No.
So, anyway, real quick, just to wrap this up, because I do want to hear about Dragon Con. I don't know if I'm making a mistake when I go to Universal Orlando, because we're only, for the Universal Studios Park, we're only doing Halloween Horror Nights. So I have no bearings of direction in there or anything. We're just like launching into it at 6 6 p.m. and it's like, all right, here we go. I don't know where
So-
anything is.
I can tell you when I go, like what the best pathway would be, but candidly, I think your best bet is to just go as soon as you go in, go right into like it's like the old Hollywood is what they try to make it look like, and then walk all the way down and to the right as far as you can until they force you to go left, and then essentially you're kind of like going counterclockwise through the park, right?
Okay, because it's like a big circle around that lake, right?
Kind of.
Like-
It's
like
it's almost
freaky
like
circle.
freaky circle, but it's all kind of one pathway. So yeah, I mean, you'll be fine. I don't know what order the houses are in, like which direction is which. So I can't tell you, start on this house or whatever. But it does sound like Insidious is the scariest and the longest line.
So I've never seen an Insidious film,
Oh shit!
and
You should
so
watch
I
the first one.
I just watched the first one 2 nights ago
So the second one, if you watch the first one, I think you'll like the second one.
because
Yeah, agreed. And then
I
stop.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, really?
Yes.
Oh, because there's like 6 of them or 5 of them. 5 or 6.
There's 5 or 6. Yeah, it's.
I've only
I
seen
think
the
5.
first 4, I think.
You don't need to see Red Door.
Oh,
No, I stopped after Lost Key.
Yes,
okay. So just watch the second one and then that's it.
that's it.
Oh,
The
might
second one
miss a
is
few,
really
like,
good.
monsters, but you're fine.
The second one is really good of picking up where the first one left off. It's like a true sequel.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like did you ever watch Paranormal Activity and Paranormal Activity 2?
Never saw those.
Shit, you got to watch those too.
Okay. Are they
You better
good?
pray you never get in a room with me.
Yeah,
We'll
those
make you
are
watch
good.
Paranormal Activity.
I'll watch it. I have nothing against it. It's just it never came up, guys. I was
No, but the
married.
rule of thumb with those is also stop at 2.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, what
Yeah.
about like I've watched the first 2 Conjurings. Should I keep?
I personally believe that you can stop at 2, but Jordan might fight me on that.
The third one's fine. They're not as good as the first. It's not as good as the first 2, I don't think. But
Because like
now-
the first 2 were right up my
now
alley. That was,
the Annabelle movies are the other way around. The first one's awful, but then the other 2 are really good.
wait,
That's
there's
true.
2? I thought there was only one.
There's
other
3.
One.
There's 3.
Shit.
It's Annabelle, what the hell is that
Creation.
called? Creation. And then Annabelle Comes Home.
I
Yeah,
forgot about creation.
I think 2 is the best one in my opinion.
Creation is easy. It clears the others easily for me.
Yeah.
I didn't love Come Home, but I
Come
haven't
Home is
watched
like-
it since the theater. So
Yeah, like Annabelle Comes Home is like The Conjuring 2.5.
yeah,
Okay.
So yeah.
What about the Nun movies? Like just that whole Conjuring universe.
So
you said it yourself.
All right,
None.
hold on. So I actually enjoyed. I haven't seen the second one yet. It's on my list for this Halloween to watch. I actually rewatched the first Nun movie last year, and all right, listen, I like it personally. I enjoy it because I think it has a really good tone and it has like really good atmosphere.
Uh-huh.
But there's some stuff that happens in that movie that is really weird. And or I shouldn't say stuff that happens that's really weird. There were some weird choices that
Oh.
creatively went into this movie that I now have to apply to the rest of the Conjuring movies because
Sure.
they all take place in the same universe.
Right.
And I think Ryan knows what I'm talking about because we've seen these movies. But I think watch it, but don't make it a priority. I think it's
If
I
I,
think
say the
it's-
word blood, am I on the right track, Jordan?
yes.
Yeah. uh-huh.
And where that blood came from.
Sure.
Jesus
um,
shows up, doesn't he?
You know what's really funny, Jake? You're not as far off as you think you are.
Well, just because the way the Conjuring 2 ended. I mean,
Look, so here's the thing. I didn't care for The Nun. I watched The Nun 2, and I didn't care for that as much either. But they're not all bad movies. I just didn't care for them. I will say that The Nun was almost made for Jordan because it is like the horror Indiana Jones of the Conjuring movies, because it kind of like ties back like historical, like actual events and things
Well,
that
not
have
only
happened.
that,
Otherwise,
but
we
I just-
thought were biblical.
I just think like the idea of a haunted nun convent is, I think that's terrifying because that's the one place that shouldn't be like haunted, right? That's the one place that shouldn't have an evil presence, but yet somehow it's there. So I think that concept is fascinating.
That is a good concept. I have one more quick horror movie question that ties kind of all this together, going back to Horror Nights, is I also just watched A Quiet Place for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I still need to watch that. I haven't watched them.
The second one, do I keep going?
From what I've heard in The House, first off, take the houses out of it. I do really like the second one. And to Jordan's point, Paranormal Activity 2 is a little different than Paranormal Activity. Paranormal Activity is a little different to Insidious and A Quiet Place, to where it's not like a snap, pit right back up where it is. Kind of is, but not really. But Quiet Place is very much Insidious, where it's like, hey, where the camera stopped on Insidious, we're starting on Insidious Chapter 2. We're starting on Quiet Place Chapter 2.
Oh, so like Muppets and Muppets Most Wanted. Exactly.
Yeah. Verbatim.
Yeah.
A lawsuit actually came out from that. You can watch 2. What I've heard is that there are some scenes that are shot in the the Haunted Maze for Halloween Horror Nights that come directly from Chapter 2. So in order to understand what you're seeing, I would suggest watching 2. But also, if you get a chance, watch the prequel, Quiet Place Day 1.
Okay.
I don't think that it was sold very well, because I'll give you this spoiler. I think that everyone thought Day 1 was going to be like, yeah, so for the next 2 hours, they're just going to be learning how like these monsters operate, right? Within 15 minutes of the beginning of the movie, the guy comes over a bullhorn. He's like, hey, yeah, their vision's based off sound, so just be quiet and do whatever you can. That's it. They stopped learning after that. Like, just the guy shouted the rules over a bullhorn. They're like, cool. Now it's just a different movie. And I actually love the movie that it was. It's like Oscar material, which I did not expect out of a fucking Quiet Place movie.
No.
But it's great. It's totally worth watching.
So I love the concept of the first one. Jordan, you said you haven't seen the first one yet?
No, I haven't seen any of the Quiet Place movies. They're actually on my list for this year too.
It's so stressful. I was so stressed.
That's a great Halloween watch too.
So
yeah, it was fantastic.
So with these movies, well, a couple things. One, I don't know what the pandemic did to me, but sitting down on the couch to watch a movie, I just can't fucking do it anymore. And I've noticed I haven't been able to do that since fucking COVID. And I don't know.
All you did?
I don't know. No, because I think I just got so used to having YouTube on in the background and not sitting down and paying attention that whenever I sit down and pay attention to something, I start getting antsy and I start messing around with my phone. I pause the movie, I get up and I do stuff. And it's just it's this weird habit that I picked up since the lockdown happened 4 years ago. And but when I go to a movie theater, I'm fine. Because I guess maybe it's just like the setting and the context and everything. Like I know what I'm getting myself into. But if I'm sitting on the couch, like the cats are running around, I have my phone in my hand, there's a very good chance that Chelsea's either going to come downstairs and talk to me about something, or she's going to come home from work and I'm going to have to pause the movie anyway. So there's like all these other factors where it's like it's hard for me to sit down and watch a movie from beginning to end. I even have trouble watching. I started watching The Boys a couple weeks ago, and I'm only 3 episodes in of the first season, and I've been watching it. Like I've been averaging 1 episode a week because it's just I can't sit down to watch something.
I mean,
it's a me problem.
So,
it's a real thing.
I get where you're coming from. I have a really hard time getting to the point to sit down and watch things. I don't know if it's pandemic related or not, but once I'm in, I'm in. But kind of like how you watching The Boys 1 episode a week, I have that problem with a lot of shows I've started, really liked. The Boys, one of them. I watched season 1 when it came out. I was like, this is awesome. Never went back.
I started watching Godzilla -1 2 weeks ago. Haven't picked it back up.
Have you not finished that movie?
No, no.
Oscar winner.
That's
Again,
a travesty.
it's hard for me to like, and I don't know what it.
Huh.
I don't know if I just get antsy or if I just have too many distractions. But I'm going to do my best to sit down and watch a movie from start to finish.
So, real quick, Jake, you said that you watched The Boys and you couldn't get into it, right?
No, I loved it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I didn't go back to it. I finished season 1.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
when season 2 came out, I never started it up again. I don't know what happened, but I was just having a funny thought. With Jordan saying he's gonna, try to make it through a movie. I was about to tell you, okay, I want full reports while you're watching it. Meaning,
maybe it would help Jordan watch the movie if every 40 minutes he sends you an update of his review
on his phone, the thing we're trying to take away from him. Yeah,
I mean, if you take it away from him, he's just gonna be thinking about it, right? But if you give it to him and he knows every 40 minutes I gotta text Jake, maybe that's the motivation.
And every time he does, I'll give him a marshmallow.
He's a
positive reinforcement.
I'm not mad at it.
I was gonna say, if you watched The Boys and you didn't like it, I was gonna tell you that my room is now representative of the internet.
No, I really like The Boys. I thought it was great.
Oh, dude, I love The Boys. I don't stand by every single decision that they do in that show.
Yeah.
So it feels kind of like Walking Dead to me now, where I'm watching because everyone else is watching, and I am still enjoying it. But it's kind of like, oh, this is a lot more bleak than I thought a superhero America would be.
But I feel like it's real.
Oh, for sure. No, that's one of the reasons that I've been recommending it to people is like it is an actual look into what would happen if the MCU or DCU was real.
Yeah.
It would just all be corporations and what's the word I'm looking for? Entitled assholes.
What? In this country? In America?
No.
Never. But since you brought up Walking Dead, I only made it through 2 seasons of that, and I know exactly why. So
I made it 3 or 4. Because you got to think, you talk about Georgia being the best movies filmed in Georgia or taking place in Georgia. Walking Dead, I mean, that put Georgia back on the map for filming and everything, TV and movies. So that was a phenomenon in general, but even more so in Georgia. Enough to where I went to a premiere of this 2nd season at T-Bone's house. What was his name?
T-Bone.
It's not T-Bone. It's something like that, though. He was he used to be a football player, and then he became an actor.
Oh, yeah, the dude he was in the 1st season.
I think he was in the 2nd season too.
Was he? Did he make it to the 2nd?
It might have been 1 or 2 episodes, but still. Let's say T-Bone. That's not his name, but it's something like that.
You say T-Bone, all I think of
T-Dog.
T-Dog.
Okay.
That's T-Dog. Michael Rooker was there, and a couple other people from the show, but I only met Michael Rooker. So I watched it, and I loved the 1st season. 1st season's great. 2nd season lost me a little bit, but I still did really enjoy it. It's around season 3 that the characters start making decisions where I'm just like, I don't care anymore. It feels very stupid. It does not feel like you are doing what your character should. It feels like this is what is needed for the series to be 12 seasons long, right? Yeah. So didn't care for that. I am also of the belief that it's one of those shows that at the spoiler alert for season 1, when they reveal that there's no cure and it's just going to be like this forever, you're kind of like, all right, what are we doing? How much longer are we going to do this for?
We're just dragging this on until.
Yeah, that's a personal thing, though. I don't think that drags the show down, but that's just the pacing for me.
But there's no end game.
That's my thoughts.
But because that's why I
but now there's 7 spinoffs.
That's why I like The Last of Us, because the zombies weren't the problem. The problem was getting her from point A to point B. There was an end game.
True. Did you ever play the 2nd game?
I never played the 1st game. I just watched the show.
Oh, so you have no idea what's
I
coming
haven't played the
season
2nd one, but I do want to. That's on my list of games to get. I have to hurry up because there's some stuff coming out this year that I want to play. I just started playing a game called Evil West.
Oh yeah, it's fun, isn't it?
Well, I'm only like in the middle of the second chapter, so it's because you start off in the town, and then you kind of go underground, and then you see like there's this entire fucking underground city in the Old West. So that's where I'm at right now.
Huh.
That game is like a perfect vibe for you now that I think about it.
It's I thought whenever I was getting into it, I thought it was going to be a little bit more Resident Evil-ish.
Sure.
But I feel like it's a little bit leaning closer, a little bit more to Devil May Cry.
Totally.
So, because it's a little bit more actiony, like it's horror, but it's more actiony.
Yeah, it's more focused on the gameplay. I think Resident Evil, it's more their kind of gameplay is getting you to the next bullet point of the story. Evil West feels like it's more focused on the game. Play, that is.
So,
Is anyone playing Star Wars Outlaws?
no.
I am.
How many
You like
bugs
it?
have you encountered?
How many what?
Bugs, glitches.
Just one.
Pretty good for Ubisoft.
Yeah. I was shocked by that. It is so fun. I am enjoying the shit out of this game.
So hold
I
on.
am excited.
Is there like an actual narrative to the game, or is it just a free for all where you're just taking jobs?
There's a narrative, but the narrative is a big job.
No, like I understand that, but it's not like a game like Elden Ring where there really isn't a narrative that your character goes on, but as you go and explore places, you just piece together the lore of the
No, like
world.
there is a through line story.
Okay.
But
That's what I was like afraid of. I was afraid it was just going to be like nothing but you're a smuggler and you just take jobs. I was
But
like, that
what I'm
sounds
really
boring.
enjoying about it, because there is a lot of that. You are a smuggler and you take a lot of jobs, but the choice in jobs and how you can actually double cross the factions against each other is very enjoyable. And that comes up way more often than I was expecting. And then on top of all that, you have the Empire, ruling over everything, and you're breaking into their bases and or avoiding them and or killing them. And then there's a wanted system on it, like Grand Theft Auto with the Empire. I found out the hard way.
I like that.
You do enough horrible things, they send the death troopers after you.
I am interested in playing it. It just came at a very bad time where I'm all about Black Myth Wukong right now.
Uh-huh.
I heard that was really good.
Dude, I'm obsessed with it. Like, it is fantastic.
Is it digital only, or are they putting out a hard copy?
Well, currently it's digital only. They'll put out a hard copy later on. There's a lot of, we don't have the time to get into it because I don't have 5 hours, but there's a whole, like, it was supposed to be a Game Pass exclusive on Xbox. Or at least it was supposed to come, when it released wide, it was supposed to be on Game Pass day one.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turns out that on release day, it just did not come to Xbox. Not that it was on Game Pass. It's not available on Xbox.
Oh, interesting.
And everyone was like, oh, it's the optimization, right? Xbox can't handle what Sony can. And Xbox comes out and they're like, hey, we actually can't comment on for legal reasons why they decided to do this instead. So then everyone started doing some snooping. And it turns out that Wukong actually signed an exclusive deal with PlayStation after the announcement of the Xbox Game Pass Day 1 release, to where it could not be released on any other console other than PlayStation for like 5 months.
Interesting.
So it will be on Xbox, and when it is, I think that's when you'll see a physical release. But until then, it is a digital only at this time.
Yeah, I'll wait for a physical release. But I've got in a couple weeks the remaster of Epic Mickey comes out. So I'm picking that up. I thought about getting it for the Switch, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and get it for the PS5.
For the remaster, I think it's going to look it's going to look better on the PS5. So I think that's a better idea.
And then 2 weeks after that, Silent Hill 2 remake comes out.
And then after that,
a month after that, it's Assassin's Creed.
Isn't it October? I thought it was October 16th.
I thought it's November. I thought. I could be wrong.
You also you skipped a game.
Did I?
I mean, I feel like the fact that you said that with that face, you know what I'm talking about, and I'm excited for it.
No, which
you
one?
are correct. November 15th. My bad.
Okay. What game did I miss?
it's one that you wouldn't be interested in, the new Zelda game.
I'll get that one. That's the one where you actually play as Zelda.
Yeah.
And it's done in the style of the Link to the Past, not Link to the Past, Link's Awakening.
Link's Awakening,
remake.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that might actually be a Christmas present for Chelsea. So
I'm so excited for that one. It's like 3 days after Epic Mickey. I'm just like, yeah. I'm
Hey, speaking of Jordan, are you trying to get Chelsea to go to the Georgia Aquarium before the Animal Crossing overlay leaves?
we are, and I just need her to figure out what day she wants to go, and then, but we're trying to make it happen.
Hold on.
If you want to double date it, September 21st, we're going to go.
I cannot do the 21st because I have unless we go later in the afternoon, I don't know what time they close, because I have a workshop at work.
I think they're open until like 8 or 10, like 8.
So like from 8 a.m. to 11:30, I have a workshop that I have to do at work, and then it's going to take me about an hour to get back home.
I'll figure out what time we're going to go and I'll hit you up. But that's Taylor's not going to be here this weekend, but she will be next weekend. Jake, yes, questions, go.
Animal Crossing overlay at the Georgia Aquarium?
Yeah, dog.
That sounds amazing.
I'll send you the link. I'll see if there's one closer to you. I know that they're going to Chattanooga, but that's not technically closer to you, but
slightly closer, maybe.
Wait, so is it like a traveling overlay?
Yeah, so what they do is on specific weeks, this weekend is one of them. For anyone listening in the Atlanta area, this weekend they're going to have KK Slider, Isabel, and Tom Nook doing a meet and greet with people. But then otherwise, what's up month round, I think it's actually leaving on the 28th, is they're going to be doing they have signs, just like they would in Animal Crossing at the aquarium for like what each fish or animal is. So you can like do some reading, and it features Blathers, the aquarium head or whatever. There's some meet and greet stuff. There's merchandise that you can have. There's overlays. I forget the name of the duck, the pelican or whatever that like falls asleep on the shore of the beach. But they put him in Pierre, I think. Yeah, they put him asleep on one of the rocks in one of the aquarium tanks. So there's like all the Easter eggs and stuff for Animal Crossing there.
Oh man, that's coming to Tempe, Arizona.
Do you think, Jordan, that if Chelsea brings her Switch and shows how many hours that she's played, that she get it for free?
I'm kind of banking on it, to be honest with you.
She has what, 4 hours on that?
Hold on. Before you answer, Jordan, I want you to just guess, Jake. Just guess how many hours you think his wife has on Animal Crossing.
So me and Chelsea are friends on the Switch. I don't know why. I've never talked to Chelsea in my life, but it was probably
she's chill. That's okay. You can stay friends. She's chill.
Yeah, no, I assume she is. But I think it was to exchange gifts when everyone was playing Animal Crossing. I feel like, let me think. I feel like at the time, she was well over 1,000 hours. But then Jordan got the new OLED Switch.
Yeah.
And it reset her hours.
It's because I accidentally erased her island.
Buddy!
You erased her island?
Did you wait? Have I not told you the story?
You might have, but I just remember her hours were gone.
Yeah,
Buddy.
no. Her hours remained. So, do you want me to give you the answer, by the way, before I jump into the story?
Yes.
1,400. She's at 1,410 hours.
And so her hours remained. Like that's
so her hours remained. So this is what happened. The week leading up to me trading in the Switch, I said, hey, back up everything you want carried over to the new Switch because I'm trading the old one in 2 days. And she said, okay. So she did. And then I reminded her, I said, hey, did you back everything up? She goes, yes. I was like, the way that you were supposed to? And she goes, I backed it up on the SD card. I was like, okay. Then I traded in the Switch. But whenever I was in the store, I transferred everything over. And all of her data from Animal Crossing switched over. So I thought her island switched over. I didn't realize that the day before, when I said like the night before the OLED Switch came out, there was a special piece of software that you had to download for free from the eShop that made it so you can transfer your island from one Switch to another, because you couldn't do it without that software. But neither of us knew that. So whenever I brought the new Switch home, Chelsea went to go play and she said, "Where's my island?" I was like, "It should be on there." She goes, "It's not on there at all." So she had to start a whole new island. But she said, well, like she actually like kind of went with it. She said, well, yeah, it sucks that the island is gone, but now I know how to play the game, because she created the first island with never playing an Animal Crossing game before and not knowing how to play the game. So she was back up and running in like a couple of days.
Oh, okay.
But she had to start, she chose a different island. She chose a new name for it, but she knew what she needed to do in order to start making it thrive. So she got back into the groove of it, but I felt so bad.
Yeah, that is like all the collections, the aquarium, the museum, the fossils.
So does she still have the ability, like everything that she had unlocked was still unlocked, or she lost everything?
No, the only thing that retained was the fact that she had some kind of save data, but she couldn't access it because her island wasn't tied to the Switch or attached to the Switch. Wow. And the only other thing that stayed was her play hours. So she at least got to build on the hours that she already put in.
What do we think the over-under is that she was singing the Reba theme song in her head the entire time rebuilding that island?
I couldn't tell you.
3-1.
Sorry, that's me living with Taylor joke. My bad. Didn't realize I wasn't talking to two country heads.
I despise country.
Single mom who works two jobs. That's
a survivor.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you got it.
Now I kind of want to fire up Animal Crossing again. Okay, we got negative 5 minutes. Jordan. I need you to go back in time 10 minutes and talk about Dragon Con. Go.
Oh, it was listen, it's Dragon Con. It's always a great time. I don't know if they did a better job of dispersing or like spreading people out this year, because it didn't seem like it was as crowded as it has been in the past. But also I still think they had like 75, 80,000 people all weekend.
Right. And I might be wrong on this one, but I feel like it's gotten bigger. Like the names that were there this year. I mean, like it's got a bigger pull.
I mean, Dragon Con, it's Dragon Con. They're always going to have a big pull. They're always going to pull big names. Some years will be bigger names than others, but
the only reason I say that, having not ever been, I was just judging off of my social media.
Yeah, but I mean, like
choice.
People like William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy have come in the past. Like
we've had David Tennant before.
Yeah, David Tennant. Like this year, it was Nathan Fillion and Alan Tudyk were there, and there. I mean, I know that there were a handful of other people in the Walk of Fame. Like I never really go do autographs, so I don't really keep up with like the celebrities that are there.
Yeah.
However, I did. There was a comic book artist there this year that I really wanted to meet, and I normally don't buy autographs, but I actually did pay to get this dude's autograph only because one, he's a great comic book artist, and he did a lot of really good stuff for Marvel in the 60s, specifically Nick Fury. He gave him much more of like a James Bond secret agent edge in the 60s. But it's a comic book artist by the name of Jim Steranko. And when you look this dude up, if you look him up, he either looks like one of two things. One, he's connected to the mob. Two, he looks like he should be in Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons.
Wow. Both of those wildly accurate.
Yeah. Anyway, he was very nice, and he's also the guy that came up with the X-Men logo that like the block letters that are kind of descending,
kind of
like
perspective.
so yeah. So that was him. Like he got rid of the old X-Men logo, and he created this new X-Men logo. So I bought an X-Men print from him, and he told me the story about how he created the logo. He's like, I created the logo, and I was like, oh yeah, that's why I'm getting this print. And he's like, do you know the story about how I changed it? And I said no, and he proceeded to sit there for 10 minutes and tell me this story, and it was fantastic. He was super nice. He was joking around and palling around with everybody, and like everybody got like 10, 15 minutes of his time for all the stuff that they purchased. I thought it was just really cool. And this dude's like 85. Like this, not to take anything away from him, but he's not a spring chicken anymore, man. But like the fact that he did it, and the dude's spry, he's there, he's having a good time. I just thought it was cool. The print was $20, the signature was $50. And had it been any other comic book artist, I probably wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
But he's an important dude, and I wanted to get it while the getting was good.
Did he tell you the story in Yakko's voice?
No, because that's not.
That's a deep cut to your.
That is a very deep cut.
Carry on.
But he was there this year too. Again.
Yeah, he was one of the ones that showed up. Yeah. All the Ninja Turtles, the voice cast of the original Ninja Turtle cartoon was there.
That's dope.
Yeah, so Cam Clark, Rob Paulson, and I can't remember the other two guys. But yeah, no, Dragon Con's Dragon Con. It's a fun time. It took me, let's see, I think I waited in line 20 minutes to get into the vendor hall. So, I think I hit it at decent times. I did panels in the paranormal, or it's called the X track these days. And they were great. My solo panel was actually full, and there were people waiting to get in. So I thought
I said it on Twitter. I'll say it again. Proud of you for that one.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like
crazy.
It's always crazy to me that either one of two things are happening. Either people genuinely want to hear what I like about the panels that I put together, or the people at Dragon Con just give me a really good time slot. And like Dragon Con is huge. Those people can go anywhere at Dragon Con, but they're hanging out in my panel, and I don't know. I just think that's cool.
What you talking about? Like what was your panel about?
My solo panel was about haunted dolls. And I just told stories of like,
or people into haunted dolls these days. Come on, man.
So,
like you said, it's one of two things, buddy. It's both. Like they're giving you a great slot because people want to come to your panels. Like
so I ended up talking about that, and then I was on 3 other panels. I got put on a writer's panel, which was a little weird. Like I discussed like the track director, Jenny, who's fantastic. She reached out and she said, hey, I know you haven't published anything, but I know that you write a lot for work. So I think, I know that you write history a lot. So why don't you be on this writer's panel? And I told her I would. And that was fine. The other 3 people on the panel actually did have books published, and they did have books for sale. So, even though I was a panelist, I was like, man, I'm learning a lot over here, just on the other side of the table.
I read a book once.
Yeah. And then I had a haunted battlefields panel, which was really, really great. I did those 2 panels with my friend Richard Estep, and man, he's awesome. He's a paranormal investigator and a paranormal writer, and he's just an all around good guy. So anytime I do a panel with him, it's always a great time. And then I did a panel on, it was kind of like media depictions of the paranormal versus the quote unquote reality. So, and, it was
Josh would have loved that.
It was fine. No, like there were a couple people on the panel that I wasn't too familiar with, and they were kind of a wild card because for reasons, I guess. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I did anything else significant. I just kind of hung around, did my panels. Morgan and I walked around. Our buddy Morgan, Tiki Goon.
Tiki Goon?
Yeah, he was staying down there. He had a hotel room. I did not. I drove to and from because I don't have $400 a night for a hotel room.
It's so much easier to drive.
Mm-hmm.
How's the
Also,
parking situation?
I mean, I know parking's fine. Like it was like $25 for 12 to 24 hours at the parking deck that I parked in. It's that same parking deck that Ryan, do you remember where we parked, like right off Cortland?
I do.
Last year? Yeah. So I was able to park there again all 4 days or all 3 days that I went with no issue.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Like just in this whole parking and driving situation, how long, just time-wise, does it take to get from your driveway to the parking lot? Like an hour?
Are we talking about no traffic or traffic?
Just like whatever it took you to get there.
Oh, no.
Those...
30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're not too far from the city proper. So, and it's all interstate. Like you just get on the interstate and you go straight. Like that's it.
Okay. Easily the most time-consuming part of that drive is going to be once you get to the Cortland area, getting to the parking deck you want to get to and park. That's got to take the longest.
I could,
Like,
I could say that.
time.
Yeah. Ryan, when was the last time you went to the Congress Center?
I went to Dragon Con.
No, that's not Dragon Con.
Oh, Congress Center. Is that the one by the dome?
Yes. Was the last time you were there when we were there, when we did the Comic Con in 2019?
No, I did MomoCon last year, and that was at the Congress Center.
Okay, so you have been there since they've built the new Mercedes-Benz dome.
Correct.
I didn't realize how much that area between the Congress Center and the CNN building had changed.
Yeah.
Because when you and I went in 2019 to the Atlanta Comic Con, there was a road in between those two buildings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
whenever to Taco Mac.
Yeah. So like we would, and there was also like, if you went down that road and the Congress Center is on your right, this is a fantastic podcast for everybody who's interested.
Well, there's nothing visual, so you're fine.
Atlanta geography.
I'm looking at pictures of the Congress Center.
But like the Congress Center is on your right. There used to be a parking lot just past the CNN building. That is no longer there. That is just the Mercedes-Benz dome. And I didn't know it. And I turned around the corner. I was like, oh, there used to be a parking lot.
oh no.
You need those.
And there's a walking path now between the Congress Center and the CNN building, because I remember the time we went to MomoCon back in like 2016, 2017, and we had to cross that busy road just to get to that Taco Mac that was in there.
Yeah.
So
I also remember that's where you interviewed a guy who was dressed as Cloud or Sephiroth about Final Fantasy.
Yes.
And I don't remember the punchline, but there's something really funny about that.
There was also a dude dressed up as Prince.
Yes, I do remember that.
And but I think it was Cloud. I think it was a dude dressed up as Cloud.
And you said something about Final Fantasy 14. He was like, I never played it or something like that. And you're like, you're
I'd
Cloud.
have to go back. I'd have to go back and watch that. Jesus, that vlog is like 7 years old at this point, 6 years old. That's nuts. Yes.
What the hell's a Taco Mac?
I don't know a Taco Mac.
They
over
don't.
there?
No, they don't have it. It's a sports bar.
It's a sports bar.
Oh, okay.
It's like wings and burgers and tacos.
Oh. Like Buffalo
Yeah,
Wild Wings?
it's called Taco Mac. I've never had a taco there.
Have you had Mac?
No. You're never going to guess what the logo is for Taco Mac.
Oh, I'm looking at it
Oh, it's Buffalo.
with wings.
Buffalo wings.
Taco Mac with a buffalo.
Let's see. Back to Dragon Con. Let's see.
right.
No, I don't. I didn't buy anything outside of the outside of that print and food and parking. I don't know. I this is where I'm at with Dragon Con. I love Dragon Con. I would if something happened and I couldn't go to Dragon Con, I would miss it and it would suck, but I would ultimately be okay with it. But also, I just can't hang like I used to. Like, I'm not in my 20s. I'm not even in my 30s anymore. But it used to be that I could go and stay till like midnight, 1 o'clock, drive home, wake up at 7, be there at 8, and then do it all over again. But now it's like once 8 o'clock rolls around, I am ready to leave, and I'm ready to sit on my couch. Also, shout out to Morgan Tiki Goon, because our boy is on first name basis with the entire bar staff at Trader Vic's.
Tiki bar theme. Tiki
Yes,
bar.
it took
You saw where
me-
this is going.
Yeah.
Listen, so not only that, but Homeboy has a drink named after him.
What?
Yes. So he went up and he said, I can't remember the bartender's name, but he said, "Hey, get my boy here one of my drinks." And then the dude goes, "Okay." And it's like half Mai Tai and a half Moku Noku, I think is what it's called. Whatever it is, it's fucking delicious. And it only took 2 drinks to get me tipsy.
What's the name of his drink?
I think it's just the Tiki Goon.
No.
Wait, does he have a booth there? Like, he actually just said one of my drinks, and they knew what.
Well, he doesn't have a
about.
booth. I think that
He doesn't have a booth. He's on first name basis. He just goes there a lot, and he's on first name basis with all the bartenders there.
I bet he
You know
lives
what?
there.
That's something that, like, knowing Morgan, that's very cool. Not knowing Morgan, it sounds like we know our own Barney from The Simpsons.
Right?
That's true. Like, this is only awesome because I know Morgan.
Yeah, I know Morgan's not Barney, but like if I tell Taylor or Taylor knows who Morgan is. If I tell anyone else on this podcast, they're like, "What kind of slob is Jordan hanging out with?"
Anyway, the drink was delicious, and it took me a minute to sober up before I could safely drive home, which I did. So
Jake said it best, man, but legitimately do not downplay the success of what you were able to do with that. Because like that is significantly cool to be able to have done it once, B, to be asked back to do it, and to have the turnout that you have had. Like I saw the picture from this year. Damn.
Morgan took those pictures.
I mean, that was
That
awesome,
room was
dude.
full.
It's
Yeah,
super
small
cool to be
room.
able to see that.
The line wrapped around the hallway and down into the lobby. And and then there were people waiting to get in because there were more people than the room could hold. And there were some people that got up and left, and I get it. Like they, if it wasn't what they were thinking it was going to be, or they didn't like my humor or whatever, I'm not going to force anybody. But even with the people heading out, like more people came in to take the seats that they were taking. So
Buddy, I hate to break it to you, but you might be good at what you do.
Yeah.
I think it's time you
fucked
accept
around
that.
and accidentally got good at your job.
oops.
Oops. Well, I think that oops is a good time as any to wrap this up.
Well, I look forward to when Mickey Mutineers has their own panel at a convention soon.
I would love to do a live Mickey Mutineers. You remember?
Oh my God.
Because Ryan, remember whenever we were talking about doing a live, it's all in my head at a concert venue in East Atlanta.
Yeah.
Like Tim was gonna get us, your brother Tim, not Jake's brother Tim,
Yeah.
was gonna get us. I still wish that would have happened. I would have loved to do a live version. I would love to do a live Mickey Mutineers so we can actually say it was recorded in front of a live studio audience.
I'd love to do that. And I think legitimately all it's going to take is for us to get Jake down here, because obviously Josh, whenever he's done doing what he's doing, we have him in the area.
Mm-hmm.
So it really wouldn't be hard. We would just have to, find the fan base and then promote it.
Could we do a double bill? Let's pull off a live what the heck too. It's the same people on stage.
We just changed the seats.
And Chloe shows up for one of them. No, she's there for all of them.
She's there for all of them. I think we could do it. I think you could. And honestly, I won't take more than 30 seconds on this, I promise, Jake. But I had a show this past month with my buddy Justin McEver. Shout out Justin, who did the Streamboat. He has a company called Streamboat, and he did something called Diddy Deep Dive. And actually, good promotion. Next week's Wednesday, September 18th, the edited footage of that concert is going live on YouTube so everyone can watch it. But essentially what he does is he has a podcast where he has people come on and play their music. And it ranges from like solo artists to like bands. And he interviews them afterwards about their songs. And the Hearsay got to host it, so to speak. And we got to talk to other artists and ask them questions and like play some fun games and stuff. It was really fun. But that has sold me on the idea of doing a live podcast and how it can work. And it absolutely can. So if it's ever more possible, it's now.
Now, hold on. Are we talking live podcast at Dragon Con?
I mean, that would be sick. And I do think that there would be hype around that. But a live podcast, let's start a live podcast.
All right.
Look, we have a year.
All right. We'll put a pin in this. I'm in. Like, I don't care if it's Mutineer Con at the local Holiday Inn and Josh is the only one that shows up.
Mutineer Con. I think we're going to turn some people away on that. It's not that con. I'm sorry.
No, Mutineer Con is how we get Jordan to stick around as a
pirate shows up.
Jordan being a member this long has been a Mutineer Con, not a hostage situation. Oh, by the way, hey.
Actually, Ryan, the key is under the mat in the back door. If you could just swing by.
Yeah, see, here's the problem. Jake already thought about this. He knows my rule. I come to your house once a year. That's the rule, man. I'm sorry. So I think with WrestleMania, I already kind of like.
But also, like Jordan, you're not the new guy anymore.
This is why I don't have a door on that hinge. So Jake can't lock me in.
You're here, aren't you?
Oh, God.
Ryan, that's how they got me.
Oh, no. What are out these windows?
Well, Ryan, now we're both fucked.
Why do you think Josh goes out to the middle of the desert? That's the only place that's safe. I don't have service out here. By the way, apologies for the audio on that last episode.
Buddy, I listened to it today. I was like, oh no.
So I put that thing together 3 times trying to freaking. You'll notice it was 2 weeks late. I was working on that thing. I was
wondering why it was. I'm like, it's been a while.
It was 2 weeks late. Me working on that also bled into we are at my busiest time at work right now. And there were some nights where I was just like, I don't want to do anything. But I worked really hard on that episode. And I got to a point where I was like, I just got to call it. This is it. Like things weren't lining up. It was a mess. It was a disaster hour. But that being said, it was a really good episode. And that's what made me upset. So anyway,